So for me to combine everything is like I had so many difficulties in my career, wherein I suffered like mental depression. I got through a lot of things, and during that time it was so hard for me, but I managed to come out of that situation.
Zama's rise as a young kid from the dusty streets of Alexandria wasn't an easy one. A young man who achieved great milestones early on in his career, poised with so many difficulties that many would not overcome. From starting out in the goals when he was young, to turning out for one of the most prestigious football academies in South Africa, SuperSport United.
In primary, I remember I was just playing there, and then obviously, like in school, there's a soccer team, and then I joined, and then I just like took it as a step at a time. But eventually, I grew to love soccer, and I was a goalkeeper.
He has crossed borders and reached places where young South African footballers can only dream of. For many of us South African footballers, playing in Europe is the ultimate goal, and that was the case with Zamo. But his journey wasn't as straightforward as many would think.
And then two days later, my agent told me that, hey, man, listen, Club Brugge wants you to come for a trial.
Coming back to South Africa, left frustrated by the game he loved most due to decisions he couldn't control. He turned out at clubs such as Platinum Stars and Cape Moya, looking for more game time to showcase his talent.
So for me, it was very difficult to come back because I really wanted to play that side. And that team at that time, where I was playing in Israel, wanted me to play there. But obviously, I had to respect SuperSport wishes. I think as much as my journey is very hard and I've had my challenges, my struggles, I'm thankful to God because I'm still here. I'm still able to play soccer. I broke my ankle and I thought it was the end of it, but I'm still here, I'm still pushing.
Through everything he's been through, the highs and the lows, he is still filled with hope and believes he still has a lot to offer South African football.
Hi everyone, this is Zama Rambuwane. I'm doing Unattached Untamed for 21 Security Scheme.
Let's rock, man. Okay. My brother, thank you again for being here with us. Honestly, appreciate your effort. Thank you for being a part of the journey, a part of the story, and we're definitely looking forward to just spending the day with you and moving on from there. So first things first. What has been your dream? What's been your dream from a young age growing up?
Um, my dream growing up, I won't lie, I was trying to make it out the hood because I'm from Alexander Township. It's a very small town. So I was trying not to look for opportunities to make it out, and football was one of them. So that's when I tried to put myself in a space where I should be able to get that opportunity. And yeah, I got it to play soccer.
Okay. You shared that you're from Alex. Can you tell us a bit more about Alex and how your football journey started from where you're from in Alex?
I'm from Alex. I stayed in Alex for a very long time, but in a like different area, but still in Alex.
Yeah.
It's a very small township, as any other townships. There's also like difficulties, there's gangsterism, people doing wrong things. But yeah, I'm from a family where they were very strict on me in terms of I need to get in line in whatever that I do. So for me, growing up, it wasn't easy, obviously, but I had to tell myself that I need to get out of Alex and make a name for myself.
When would you say you realized that you were talented in football?
Mm, I don't want to lie, I don't know. But going back, my mom used to tell me when I was a kid, like I used to kick around like some things around the house. Maybe I can find a pot, maybe somewhere, or like a bottle. I just kick it around, and then my love for football grew because my uncle and my cousin they played soccer. So I was a fan of soccer, but I wasn't really into it that much. You know, I was just being a kid playing around. I thought I was playing around, but other people were saying, "You love soccer, you know. There's something in you." And then in primary, I remember I was just playing there, and then obviously like in school, there's a soccer team, and then I joined, and then I just like took it as step at a time, you know. But eventually, I grew to love soccer, and I was a goalkeeper. You know, I was a goalkeeper. Started as a goalkeeper, and then I remember one time we were playing. It was during lunch at school, and then obviously I'm the goalkeeper, but we had too many players at that time, and there was one guy who couldn't play inside. So we decided for him to go in goals and me to play in infield, and the rest was history.
We've noticed that the 11 p.m. tagline is all over your socials, and we are aware that you have it tattooed on you. We'd like to understand and appreciate where that tagline comes from. Why 11 p.m.? What's so important about that, and where did it come from in your life?
For me, it's a very deep meaning for me. 11 p.m. for starters. 11 is the favorite number that I like, and then p.m. it's like in Zulu because I grew up in a family where we speak Zulu. We say kuzoba mnyama, kuba mnyama kakhulu before kuzokhanya. That's where the p.m. stands for. So for me to combine everything is like I had so many difficulties in my career, wherein I suffered like mental depression. You know, I got through a lot of things, and during that time it was so hard for me, but I managed to come out of that situation, and for me it was a thing of I need to get back to the field. People must know that I still play soccer, I can still play, and during that time I was injured. That's why I had to go through like mental depression and everything, because everything was going so wrong and I couldn't understand, given the fact where I was playing at the time and to be where I was at that time. So the 11 p.m. thing it means the 11, which is the number, which is me, the p.m. combined together is like 11 p.m. People are going to see that number again. I'm going to rise again in a way. Just to summarize it, I'm going to rise again and people are going to see 11. So 11 p.m. stands for that.
Okay. Just to touch on you saying you were a bit depressed, obviously, because of your injuries. And I've noticed that obviously now in football, the mental health conversation is growing a bit more. But I'm also aware that we don't all have the same perspective in terms of what mental health is and maybe the depression itself. So could you just shed light on how you feel about the mental health situation, how you feel about the depression, and how you feel you've dealt with it, and how you could maybe your methods of dealing with it, how you could maybe pass that on to any other youngsters that are probably going to go and see the same or go through the same experiences as you did?
Well, for me, for starters, we all have a different way to deal with depression, mental health, and everything. And for me, it was a thing of I couldn't cope with how things went with my career because I did nothing wrong. You know, I was always on time at training. I don't think there's one coach or one team owner can say maybe Uzama was giving us problems. It was never that. I was never late. Came to training on time. Came to camp on time. Always performing. You know, so for me to get injured and then to lose that credibility in the team at that time, because I was really like blossoming, like I was going up, and then all of a sudden, so that thing like it killed my mental health because at that time, all the people that were around me, left me, like friends. You understand? Like people don't look at you the same because now you're not on TV or like, for example, family. You can't provide for the family. You know, they look at you and be like, okay, Uzama, when's that much? What is he doing with his life? You know. So for me, it was like people didn't know what I was going through at that time because of my career. Because football is my life. I've been doing it for too long, and for me my career like started blossoming when I was like 14, moved to super sport when I was 14, and then from super sport I went to the academy. In that academy maybe I spent like 2 years. In that 2 years I got a first team contract when I was like 16. Got a first team contract from there.
Huge.
Overseas.
Huge.
And then when everything came down, like I was doubting myself, my ability. Obviously, what went wrong? What could have done right? But it was in my hands. But for me to overcome that, it was through prayer, man. I prayed a lot. I stayed as I am. I didn't change, you know. I still believe, obviously, I'm going to make it. I'm going to be okay. I took it like a day at a time. It's okay. This is my situation right now. Not for me, not to stress up. I can stress, like, I can stress about it all I want, but the situation won't change. What can I do? That's when I started to, you know, finding solutions on how to cope with this thing, you know, because I'm a person who's not outspoken. Like I'm very reserved, very humble, you know. I don't like to talk unless me and you we have that relationship, and I can also share my journey with you. But I hold back because I want to trust you with my truth. Because people, you can tell them and then they tell someone else and then they change the whole narrative of the thing. Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue. You touched on your experience at Supersport. You were obviously a part of a group that was deemed the Golden Generation. What was it like playing with them and being a part of something that special when you were there?
It was going back, you know, you reminding me of the old days, going back and, you know, reminiscing about the whole thing. It was a very beautiful journey, you know, of how we connected as gents. Because all of us come from the different backgrounds, but we met because we love soccer and we met in one setting. We chasing the same thing, to make it and to also provide for our family, to provide for us and have a good future, you know. But it was an amazing journey. There were good chants. We were gelling as a team, but us gelling as a team, it was a recipe of us gelling as gents, as human beings, you know. We would chill together all the time. Doesn't matter, it's a break, it's in the morning, before training, after training, we go to the mall, we go together, you know that bond. And then it came out onto the field, and the results showed.
That's tough, man. Do you have any crazy memories that you can share with us from the time that you were there with the boys, by any chance?
Yes, it's a lot, eh?
Give us the best one. Give us the best one.
The best one. The best one, I think, during that time, because our school at Supersport was Rosina Sidiban. It's a boarding school. So it wasn't only us who staying, also the learners of Rosina. But obviously, we stay in the same building, and then where we watch soccer, they don't watch soccer. We had our own TV, study room, and everything. But at that time, our house father, we called it house father, the person who was taking care of us, making sure everyone is up early, everyone has everything for school, training, and everything. They didn't allow us to go and watch El Clasico that night, and we had to sneak through, like through a back window, and then we managed to get the keys. I don't know how that guy got the keys. We managed. It was like a break-in.
Yeah.
And then we finally got in, and then we had to make sure that we switch off all the lights, just the TV, so that it doesn't alert anyone in the building that we're watching soccer. And then he called us. Yeah, I think that's the craziest one.
Right, top. You moved to Club Brugge, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
How did that happen? How did that materialize?
The Club Brugge, I was playing. There's this tournament, Indian tournament. It was playing in Nike Center, Soweto. So we were playing the tournament. Obviously, the scouts there, and I was contracted with an agency called Luso Africa at the time. So that guy, he was from Portugal. So he has contacts in like international, overseas, and whatnot and whatnot. So I was playing that tournament, and I think I was the player of the tournament. I think so. No, I was the player of the tournament, and then my agent was there, obviously, and then we were playing against Harmony that time, and we won 7-0. It was the final. Won 7-0. I had a very good tournament, and I saw my agent was chilling with some white guy throughout the tournament, and he didn't tell me why. When I asked him, I was like, it's just a friend, you know? And then after the tournament, my agent came to me. He was very harsh to me. Doesn't matter how I play well and everything. If I do something wrong, he'll tell me, bro, you need to cut down on this. If you want to play international, because I told him I want to play international football before SA. She was like, if you want to make it in professional, you shouldn't do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. But anyway, this is my friend I was telling you about. And then we did the intro. And then he was telling me he was from Belgium, he liked how I play. And then everything was good. And then two days later, my agent told me that, hey, man, listen, Club Brugge wants you to come for a trial for like 2 months. I'm like, okay, are you sure? He's like, yeah. And then he sent me the letter. Sent me the letter. The Club Brugge sent him a letter.
How old were you at this point?
I was 18.
Okay.
18, 19.
Okay. So he sent you a letter 2 days later, yeah?
Yeah, I read the letter, and then that letter went through to Supersport. Supersport, luckily, they said, okay, you can go. I went there for 2 months, trial, and then they were very happy with me. They were like, nah, go back to SA. We're gonna do a new visa for you to come back. And then I did that. I stayed there for two months, and then I came back. And then I stayed in SA probably like 2 weeks, bro. My visa was ready, went back to Belgium.
Sweet, man.
Went there, I was playing for the under-19s. And I was 17, 18. I was playing for under-19s Club Brugge. Because I was there before, they were like, nah, go play with the reserve team. I played with the reserve team. The reserve team had a tournament in Holland. Went there to go play that tournament. In that tournament, there were the likes of Tottenham, Liverpool, all of these teams, bro. And for me, it was mind-blowing, you know?
Yeah.
And I played the tournament, and then I met the guys that I knew before, you know? And then, yeah, that's how I went to Club Brugge.
Did you have any interactions with the first team throughout your time when you were there?
Yeah, for sure. Because at Club Brugge at that time, they would choose 3 to 4 players to train with the first team every week. And sometimes the first team coach can come and assess our training sessions. So there were a lot of interactions between us and the first team, because it was one team, reserve and first team, it's one team. Because if a coach wants a player, is going to go and look in the reserve team before going to the under 17, 19, you know. So, yeah.
Okay. And how was the environment compared to where you were coming from? Obviously, being at Supersports, being at Rosina, and now obviously just making the move to Belgium, and obviously being invited on a separate occasion. Obviously, after you've made a good impression, what's the difference in environments based off Belgium and South African football?
For me, it's the culture, how people speak, how they interact, the love for football. It's different compared to here, you know. I can say they're more invested into you as a person more than a footballer. They invest in you so that when the football career ends, you have something to sustain yourself with, you know. So, for example, in Belgium, okay, you're gonna wake up maybe like 7 a.m. Training session started at 9. We get to the facility at 8. We start at the gym, meet the guys, obviously, drink coffee, coffee with the guys, we catch up. Hey, how was last night? We catch up in the gym, and then we go to training. Train. After training, we go straight to a room where it's like a classroom. There's tables and everything, papers, pens, everything you need. And I was asking myself, what's going on? Am I going back to school? But I was like, okay. And then, yeah, you sit down, there's a lecture. They just teach you about football, bro. Nothing else. Football, what you need to do to become a better professional football player, and also the aspects you need to have as a football player and you as a human being. And then your weaknesses as a football player. So we'd get like assignments, which was something that we never did when I was playing in SA. We didn't have that. So for me, it was new, but I was willing to do everything, everything that I can to make it out international. So yeah.
Top. And then obviously you moved to Israel. How was your time when you were that side?
Online, Israel was a blast. But for me in Israel, when I went there, I thought like it was just a holy country. Like people pray a lot. Of course, people pray a lot. That side, but like if you're from SA, you're thinking Israel, it's probably strict. I can't even walk there, or like I can't even say certain things. But it's like any other country. They're very chill people, very, very good people, bro. When I went there, I was welcomed by the chairman. I used to sit with the chairman in his house.
Stop.
Like telling me I love South Africans. What do you guys eat? I need to, But for me to be comfortable around Israel in that country, it was because there was 3 players from Zambia, and those 3 players, they're familiar with players from South Africa, and they used to visit SA a lot. So when they ask me where you from, I'm saying Joburg. They're like, Joburg? Where in Joburg? And then I tell them. And then they made me comfortable. They taught me the culture, the food, the city, and everything. So I had a great time.
That's top. So from Israel, you moved back to Supersport, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah.
You moved back to Supersport. How do you feel considering that you're back and now Europe? You're in one of Europe's biggest countries. What's your feeling with that?
At a certain point, I felt like I was on a come back to Supersport, but I didn't think it was gonna happen so soon. Because going to Belgium and going to Israel, I went there on loan.
Okay.
It was a loan deal.
Okay.
I wasn't like, I signed a contract, but I wasn't their player like that. I was still a Supersport player, but I was on loan. So for me, it was very difficult to come back because I really wanted to play that side. And that team at that time, where I was playing in Israel, wanted me to play there. But obviously, I had to respect Supersport wishes. But for me not to go back, I remember our coach at Supersport was Eric Tinkler. Eric Tinkler wanted a left winger, very quick, skillful. And I was that guy at that time. I was that guy, but I was on loan, so he didn't know me. So people from Supersport, they were like, no, we have a player. If you want a left-footed player, we have a player. We don't need to buy a new player. We have a player. He's on loan. He's back in the country. But at that time, I was still injured. I tear my hamstring in Israel. So Eric Tinkler was like to me, my boy, you need to fix yourself. Fix yourself, do rehab, get back to the field. I need to see you. People are telling me you're so good. And people are telling me you are this big aspect of the club. So I need to see before I can decide whether you're going back to Israel or you're staying with us. I'm like, Ash. At that time I wasn't feeling the conversation because I didn't want to play SA football. I had the taste, because in Israel we were playing Europa qualifiers. Imagine if we qualified to play Europa. I was going to play in one of the biggest stages.
Yeah.
Where I come from, it's not a lot who plays there, bro. You understand? So for me, it was gonna be a big jump. So the coach telling me, Ish, I need to fix myself and then play here. Obviously, I know at the back of my mind, probably is gonna like the type of player I am, because I know Eric Tinkler, followed him throughout the clubs he was coaching. So, as a good kid as I was and still am today, I was like, okay, coach, I respect the decision. I'll do that. Bear in mind, I was supposed to stay like 4 weeks, bro, because of the hamstring part. I stayed like 2 months. I was supposed to stay like 4 months. 4 months out. Sorry, 4 months out. But I stayed 2 months, pushed myself, and finally I was back on the field. Eric Tinkler liked me, but at that time I gained weight. So it was the matter of managing my weight and getting back to shape. So for him, that process was too long, because he had his own project to win the MTN Nets, to win trophies and whatnot and whatnot. So he was like, listen, my boy, you're a good soccer player, I like you, but go on loan again. I know it's going to be somehow, but go on loan again. But this time, I have a friend of mine, which was Roger Dessar at that time. He was coaching Platinum Stars. Spoke to Roger. Like, I spoke to Roger. He likes you. He knows you have seen you play. He likes you. Go to Platinum Stars. It's a very good team, a great team in SA football. Platinum Stars was doing well.
Huge.
Masibusane Zongo was playing there. At that time, Masibusane Zongo was there. So I'm like, Esh, I'm going to play with Zongo. Okay? Okay. Not bad, but it's not what I want, but okay, I can do it. I went to Platinum Stars. I played there for 6 months. It was on loan again. And then Platinum Stars was sold and got relegated on that season. And then I had to go back to Supersport again.
Yeah, you mentioned your move obviously to Platinum Stars on loan, and then you also went to Cape Umoya.
Yeah.
How do you feel those moves impacted your career?
They did a lot. And I think for me at that time, it's a very emotional conversation to have, because I felt like at that time I could have moved to a better place in a way, because of how I was playing and because of the level I was at that time. I feel like I should have maybe probably moved back to maybe overseas or something, but obviously Supersport wasn't open to that. They wanted to keep me here, obviously closer to family. Kind of made sense at that point, but I had my own desires at that time. I wanted to play international football, you know. So it impacted me a lot, especially my mental health, because I didn't understand why I had to, busy going out on loans. Just sell me. If maybe you guys don't want me at the club, or you think I'm not good enough for the club, just sell me.
And
You understand?
did you have obviously interest from European clubs at this time when they were loaning you out to clubs in SA?
During that time I did have, but I had an agent, so every team was talking to my agent directly.
Okay.
No one came to me to talk to me about, hey, my boy, come to this club or go there. No, my agent was handling everything. So my moves, I would be chilling at home, and then my agent would tell me, hey, you're going to Platinum Stars, or we're loaning you to somewhere. And I didn't ever say at that point. I just had to move with how we moving. But I kind of understood where he was coming from as an agent, because it's not easy to manage a player and then have to have relationship with clubs. You need to have a good relationship with clubs so that everything can go, perfectly and everything. But it affected me a lot, and I think from me going from Platinum Stars to Cape Umoya. Platinum Stars, it was actually Cape Umoya, because after they got relegated, they just changed the team, the team name, and then took it from Rustenburg to Cape Town. So it's still the same team. I was still with Roger Dessar at that time. But I think at that time, the love that I have for football was just decreasing, because now I'm playing at NFT. I was playing international, playing in the PSL a bit for Supersport and also for Platinum Stars. Now I'm playing for the NFT. So it took a hard knock for me, but I kept it pushing.
Serious man. Are you still active? Are you signed with any clubs at the moment?
Right now, I'm very much still active. I'm still keeping fit. Unfortunately, I don't have a club right now, but obviously, I'm still looking. I'm still chatting to people that I know, trying to find opportunities. It's not an easy route, especially if you don't have an agent. Football now in this country, you need to do things at a certain way. So for me, I'm at my disadvantage because I don't have an agent. So it means I need to find maybe someone who has a number, yomuntu who owns a club, which is something that you can't just find. Because a club owner can say, don't give people my number. And people can gatekeep his number. So I don't have a club right now. I'm still searching, but yeah, hopefully I get something by God's grace, for sure.
Do you still want to make it back into the professional football leagues?
Yeah, for sure. I think as much as my journey is very hard and I've had my challenges, my struggles, I'm thankful to God because I'm still here. I'm still able to play soccer. I broke my ankle and I thought it was the end of it, but I'm still here. I'm still pushing, and in everything that I went through in my career and everything, I'm still 28 years old. So there's still time. There's still time. There's people who make it when they're like 30s, like 30. You can get a first contract, your first professional contract when you're 30, and you make money or you become successful. So with me, at least I have the experience. As much as the experience is not good and great, I had great moments, bro. You know, I had great upcoming as a football player, and I have the experience. So yeah, I'm still looking forward to get back.
Okay. What is your why? What keeps you going and doing what you're doing, considering all the difficulties that you faced in your career?
Um, the most important one, bro, is to understand that what football did for me.
Okay.
You know, football did a lot for me, bro. I was never gonna move out in Alex if it wasn't for football. I was never gonna be sitting here if it wasn't for football. You understand? So for me, what kept me pushing is that why did you start? And another thing is because you've achieved so much through this thing. This thing is, it's for me, it's my calling. It's my calling because how I went to Supersport, it was crazy, bro. You know, I was just sleeping at home, and then at school we were playing a tournament. There's a McDonald's tournament. I think it's still happening right now. There was a McDonald's tournament, and then my friend came, was like, hey, my dog, there's a tournament at school, bro. Let's go. I'm like, I don't wanna go. It's like, let's go. I'm like, okay, sharp. It was an under 15 tournament. Went there, I played. After playing, I got scouted by Supersport, Sundowns, Chiefs, and Pirates.
Huge.
And then I chose Supersport.
Why did you choose Supersport?
At that time, I was playing for Balfour, and Balfour had a partnership with Supersport. But when I was playing there, it ended. So they had a partnership before I came. But when I was there, they went there. So the owner of Balfour told me that, hey, my boy, if you really want to make it, if you want to make it as a footballer, go to Supersport. They have a great academy. You can grow there as a person, and I chose Supersport, and I really don't regret it.
So, man, we are aware that you resurfaced at some ABC clubs in the league, such as Wits, Pele Pele. How was your experience like when you were there?
It was very good. It was very good. I won't lie. It's different league. It's different league to the leagues that I've played. It's very physical, and hey, it's a very difficult league to play, man. I don't wanna lie. But the experience was good, man, because I get to meet other gents, you know. You know, when you play football, like you meet other people and you share your journeys, and then some become brothers. We become brothers because we met through soccer. So for me, it was a very great experience for me to play for Pele Pele and Vert, you know, obviously, and also, you know, to get the taste of that league. For me, yeah, it was a very good experience.
That's good. That's good. What would you say to younger kids out there who are dreaming of playing football one day?
Mm. I think from they just need to believe to believe on themselves, to have that belief. You know, people can doubt you. People can say you're not good enough. You know, I've went through that. There's people who say I'm not good enough. There's people who say, hey, Zama has a good left foot. But some say I can't play. Or some say they don't like the type of style I play. But for a young kid, they're still gonna experience this, you know. People are gonna tell them they're not good enough. But that doesn't mean they're not. That's someone's opinion. And you should respect his opinion. Respect his opinion and then keep it pushing. Believe in yourself, believe in your ability, and make sure that you work hard as much as you can, and everything will be fine.
Now, man, we're actually done. That was clean, but I'm gonna give you one last question,
Yeah.
just to keep you on your toes. Is there anything that you feel anyone should know in relation to something you've watched, something you've heard, anything? Someone that said something to you, what's something that you would like to share from your own experience? It can be whatever it is.
Mm, I think I can share maybe the move when I went to Israel, how it went about. Um, so I was trialing at Victoria Guimarães, which is in Portugal. After Club Brugge, obviously, I went to Victoria Guimarães, and then when I got there, unfortunately, overseas there's this rule where they say they need to sign a certain amount of foreign players. So they've reached the limit, so they couldn't sign me. So I was like, Esh. So this is the end of me playing in European football. Esh. It was hard, bro. It was hard, but my agent called me. Was like, hey, bro, listen. I think tomorrow, you need to go to the airport. You're not coming to SA. You're flying straight to Israel. I'm like, what's happening in Israel? It's like, go there, bro. I went to Israel. Someone picked me up, and then they told me straight, you need to go to training. I'm like, yo, I'm so tired. To training. Okay. I went to training, and then the team was playing the previous night. So obviously, if people don't know, if a team was playing the previous night, the players that played more than 70 minutes, they do recovery. And the ones that played less minutes and the one who were not in the squad, they train. So I had to train with those guys. So I'm training. Hey, the first team coach is busy watching me. It's like, who's this boy? They're like, this boy is from South Africa. He flew in today, actually. It's like, serious? Like, yeah, okay. Bro, I train, finish. Straight after training, the coach comes to me. What's your name? I tell him. Where are you from? I tell him. Okay, no stress. You see that room? Go there. There was this room. It was the boardroom. It's like, I'll go there after showering and everything. I'm like, what's happening? Hey, now I'm anxious. I'm showering, but like, I'm thinking, what is this guy saying? What does he want to talk about, you know? And then after showering, I went in there, and then the coach was like, I'm gonna sign you.
Huge.
I'm gonna sign you, and we're playing Apop and Sheva, which is one of the biggest clubs in Israel. They play Europa every league.
Yeah.
If not Europa, they play UEFA Champions League. So it was like, hey, get ready. I'm gonna sign you. Sign this contract. We're playing Apop and Sheva on Thursday. This was a Tuesday, bro. We're playing Apop and Sheva on Thursday. Get ready. Um, recover, rest, but tomorrow we train. Thursday we playing, and I played.
Huge, man.
Yeah.
That's huge. I just remembered something also. I just showed you, I was showing you something before we were chatting.
Yeah.
You were telling me about your love for music. Give me your top 3 songs off the top of your head. Just your
Top
top
three
three songs.
songs?
Yeah, you have to give me something.
Top 3 songs.
Look for something in
Three
there.
songs.
I would say currently, it's almost, you can't give me your current thing, but just what are the songs right now that.
Right now.
Yeah.
Right now for sure, Ghana. Him
Yeah.
along.
All right.
Him all along. Ghana. Mm, I listen to Hancho.
M. Hancho.
Not M Hancho.
Oh,
Hancho.
just
Just
Hancho.
Hancho. Hancho with an X.
Ah.
Yeah, you know that one.
Okay,
Hancho
yeah,
with an
yeah.
X. I listen to him. His best song that I listened to, I was actually listening to it today. It's called Blue Skies. Blue Skies. I listened to Blue Skies, and then last one. I can say Future, Riding Strikers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's top, man. I'll take that, man. Thanks, homie. Thank you
Thanks.
so much for spending the day with us. Thank you for your efforts, and we're honestly looking forward to the rest of your journey. Nothing but the best, and yeah, man, we hope to cover you again in the future with more good news, man.
Thank
Other
you.
than
Thank you
that,
for having
that's a wrap from us, yeah? Easy. Let's rock, boys. Let's love.